to Live Big Challenge at Appian World 2025. Our program will be starting in 2 minutes.
And welcome. It looks like you guys are enjoying some good food, maybe some good drinks. Don't forget to hydrate. You know, the altitude's a little different, right? I do want to officially welcome you to the Live Build Challenge. So let's get right into it. I am Kate Bonifaz. I'm your host today, and I'm a product evangelist here at Appian. So our whole challenge today takes place at this beautiful place called Process Peaks. And I hope you get where I'm going with this, okay? Because the ski lodge that it's at is called Trail Riders Rest. And I don't know if you realize, but the word trail has AI in it, okay? So again, if you don't get where I'm going with it, it's AI in process, right? Because we have our ski lodge, AI on Process Peaks. Anyway, I won't waste too much of your time without getting the excitement going. So the first thing I'm going to do is welcome out my commentators, Amy and Becca. All right, great. Welcome, guys. Are you excited?
So excited. Very excited. Is everyone excited? There we go.
We have a great crowd. I love that. Okay, so yeah, you guys are fabulous, but it's really about the contestants, right? So let's bring them on. We have Joe, Naman, Erick, and Walt. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited. Maybe a little nervous. But let's just go over the format of the challenge so you guys kind of know, and then we'll kick it off. So the format is we will have 3 challenges. We'll have 2 one-on-ones, or there's 3 one-on-ones, right? But the first 2 will be 15 minutes long, and the final will be 25 minutes long. And I'm going to tell you right now, I gave them a lot of requirements. So we'll see how much they get through, but I'm excited to see what these wonderful folks have in store for us. So first up, we have Erick versus...
Really exciting to bring some of these new features into the live build because there's a lot of pressure on it with the speed. They have to really be experienced and comfortable, so we're really putting these new features to the usability test to see if they can intuit on the fly how to use these in an application.
Yep. And they're going to be building this so fast, like how you ski down a black diamond.
Oh yeah.
Okay, fun fact, I looked up some jokes on ChatGPT. Some of them are really bad, but
We're only
anyway.
sticking to the good ones tonight, so don't worry, folks.
We'll see.
We've pruned out the bad ones.
Becca comes with good jokes. Not sure about me, but we'll see, right?
As there's complimentary, right? You know, we gotta have some good jokes, some bad jokes. I'm sure we'll each contribute some of each.
Yeah.
Do we have any skiers in the house tonight? Anyone who's... Woo-hoo! Nice. All
Anyone
right.
from Denver?
Locals.
Okay. Fun fact, I lived in Salt Lake.
We have the list.
Yeah, so which snow is better?
Ooh, Denver versus Salt Lake. Say again? Utah. All right. Wasn't an option, but we appreciate it.
You're my favorite person in the room now.
Nice.
Anyone snowboards?
Snowboarders.
What?
Ah, Rose in the audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Which one is better?
Skiing or snowboarding?
so
I've got to say, I was not much of a skier or snowboarder. As a kid, my sport was ice skating, so I can't say I'm very experienced on the slopes, but this will be one fun ride if these contestants get on the downhill with the application.
Hopefully they don't run into any trees.
Or any moguls. Are the documents the moguls in this case? I'm not really sure. I lost the plot with my pun there. Anyway, so while we're waiting for things to get straightened out, or are things straightened out? What do we have over here?
I think it's still getting
Eric,
straightened
is he-
out.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So Amy, what kind of features would you focus on if you were building an inventory management application for the ski lodge?
I think I would start with a lot of record types to make sure that I have my data in order. And to get some brownie points, I will create the document record type. Ooh. Yeah. And I'm not sure if anyone has some experience with the document record type or working with documents before. I see a lot of developers in here.
Some thumbs up, yep.
Yeah, so with the document record type, it's going to speed up your development time by a lot. And it's going to be connected to all of the record types via data fabric. So you can easily pull up your document when you need to reference it. And it also has role level security. So that's going to be very important for some of those customers that are in higher, that have more regulations in their industry. What about you? What would you build?
What would I build? I think I would probably focus first on the process and on what is being done with the inventory. You know, because I think everything kind of falls in place around that process. But one of my favorite pieces of having this be a more document-focused live build challenge is that Appian's really been investing in some of the capabilities around documents recently, just as a response to a lot of feedback that we've gotten that these documents are being included, or document management is being included in almost every application build. There's some sort of document storage. You really just can't get off of that like paper trail of pieces. So, something to add?
Yes, Naman
Yes.
needs some help.
We need some assistance on the Naman side.
Kate is coming.
Kate's coming back.
yeah, so.
But yeah,
So in the meantime, we're always trying to add in features that are going to make development easier and faster for the use cases that are most commonly shared. And so we found documents to be a space that had a lot of opportunity for further streamlining. So in this first challenge, we're going to see that with the document record type. The second challenge, a little bit of a sneak peek, we'll have AI Document Center, which is incredibly powerful. I think it's going to show really well on the live build stage.
I agree. In this session, though, I'm excited about Smart Search because with the document record type, now you can use Smart Search, use natural language to look for information like on data in your record types, and it can also look up data and content in the documents that are in these document record types as well.
Yep, it's going to feed the AI really nicely, having everything
Exactly.
formatted. Appian will be able to identify which record types are documents with the new document record type. So it's going to help build those applications better.
Yep. I was excited about Documents Chat, or should I say Enterprise Copilot,
Ooh,
as of a couple of releases ago. Yeah, that was pretty cool, but in just a few months, we can see how that has progressed to what we have now to get more information from not just Documents Chat, but also Smart Search. So,
Kind of a flywheel effect. Once we start with adding new features, then those get incorporated, those get to be further progressed too. So I'm curious too to hear from our partners as well, like what they have been doing with some of this new capability, because I know our partners are often innovating, creating solutions with the new Appian capabilities. So
yeah.
hopefully in the upstairs in the, what's it called? The showcase?
Innovation Showcase?
Innovation
that ended.
Showcase? Oh, that
but
ended. Okay.
There's more happy hours.
More happy hours? Never mind. Innovation Showcase done for the night, but maybe tomorrow we'll come back. I know a lot of our partners have demo booths upstairs to learn what they've been doing with our latest features.
Yeah. By the way, thank you for being here, because I know there's a lot of happy hours going on right now, but you wanted to be with us, supporting our contestants here.
How's
Welcome
it going, guys?
back, Kate.
We figured it out. So we're shaking it a little bit up. Our contestants had some errors unexpectedly, so they're going to build from scratch a little more, whereas before we were providing them with some tables and some record types that were pre-configured, they're now building from scratch, and we reset the timer. So both of them have the same problem. I think we're good to go.
Wonderful. Unexpected wrench thrown into it. Okay. Live
They didn't
challenge.
expect this twist. Neither did I, apparently. Okay, great. So what have we talked about so far?
We talked about AI, well, a sneak peek or a mention to AI Document Center. We talked about the document record type, Smart Search, which I'm very excited about.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we should call on someone in the audience to recap what we talked about.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just
Don't
kidding.
put that on them. Great. Okay, so did we talk about the document record type at all?
A bit.
A little bit.
But give us your take. What you were the designer of the challenge, so tell us.
I don't know if I want that credit at this point. So for this challenge, they do have different types of documents that they have been given, which include product catalogs, maintenance logs, and rental agreements, which I did make with the help a little bit of some Gemini, maybe some ChatGPT, but they're all great. They're great for the extraction or just storage in our document record type, which is really what we're talking about. Did you talk about the advantages of document record type at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of the AI.
Because we heard
What about
about it from
you?
Greg earlier today, right? But yeah.
Kind of recap in our own words, so to speak.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's the first challenge, is, well, getting over the unexpected challenge. And then now they're doing inventory management. So they have, well, they're making a list of different inventory items you might find at a ski resort, like skis, helmets, ski poles. I don't know. What else can you think of?
Lost gloves.
Lost gloves.
Gloves. Okay. So yeah, there's a whole list of that. And so what they're going to do now is configure these applications so that they can upload documents to each of those inventory items. Great. I'll just talk about each of our contestants very briefly now. So we have Erick, who, there we go, is a technical lead at Vanguard. He's lead certified and has 9 years under his belt. And yeah, let's get some hype for Vanguard, yeah. One of the reasons why I paired these two against each other is because they had something in common, which was really cool, and it's their heart towards giving back to the community, right? And so word for word, out of their applications and their interviews and their bios, is this heart for community and giving back. Whereas, so a good transition for anyone here, she's a technology consultant at Ignite. Any Ignite people out there?
Love
Love that.
Seats Ignite. We've passed winners of the Live Build Challenge, in fact.
That's true. So she is senior certified, which, okay, I admit I had some slides earlier today at the keynote. It said associate. It's wrong. She is senior certified. Okay, good job on that. She has 5 years under her belt, and again, similar story to Erick over here. she has a heart for giving back, and there's a scholarship program that she's like taking a part of that I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the concrete details, but it's really cool, and I love seeing that, heart to help people, especially because that's something that I myself really have a heart for. So,
Kate, I want to add, this is a really interesting matchup because I know Erick is a lead certified developer, and nobody is doubting his capabilities, especially we'll see at the end of how his build stacks up. But he's not actually at one of Appian's partners. He's at actually Appian's client, Vanguard.
that's true.
And so it's fascinating that he has the technical acumen at the customer to be able to compete on this live build stage. At the same time, senior certified developer, whereas all 3 of our other contestants are lead, so she's got a little bit of an underdog kick to her too. So folks who like to root for the underdog, these are our 2 competing right now.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, why don't we take a moment to see what Erick is up to?
Let's check it out.
All right, looks like we're working on a summary view.
All right.
Very cool, and it looks like okay, I've made these applications, and I kind of know like
Goals to be able to pull in the right records. It's going to populate all goals to be able to pull in the right records. It's going to populate all that automatically. Now he seems to be writing Appian expression right now to change some of the value that's going to be displayed in this field.
Yeah,
It's not really clear to me what he's doing.
This is the requirement. So one of the requirements was to actually access the document properties, which when you generate your new document record type, you not only get the base record type's document structure, but you also get a properties record type and also a document type record type. And so this is what he's doing right now. He's trying to get to the extension of the different files that he's uploading. So PDF, get to the extension of the different files that he's uploading. So PDF, what have you. Cool. All right, let's go check on Naman over there.
Let's see what Naman is doing. Consulting her notes. Okay, it looks like she is generating a new record view. She's selecting which of the different fields and related records she wants to include, and all of these are going to get incorporated into that new view. Now this is one of the most exciting portions, I would say, because previously you had to create a new interface, include all the things you wanted to piece in, write the different expressions, but we're watching in real time as Appian is going to generate the new interface for her, incorporating all those different pieces.
Right.
So.
And some of the generation stuff has become a little more fresh recently, right?
With
In
the standard.
Yeah, what?
With the standard summary view, it has a fresher look now with pre-built milestone components, and the data looks a lot better than what comes out of the box in the past.
Yeah. Oh, and look, she's doing some record level security now.
Okay, so it looks like every user that is in that AIA prompt builders group, now there's going to be an additional rule applied that depends on the field of the record that she's adding. Okay,
And
looks
in
like
this specific one, what they're trying to do is make sure that only technicians see the maintenance logs.
okay.
That's one of the requirements.
Yes, that's one of the requirements. Great.
I love the confidence. She generated that record summary view. We didn't even get to see it. She just knew that it was going to be
I know.
hands off, totally fine, moving on to the next requirement. Love it.
Yeah. Another thing that I love about some of the newer features.
I created on status. Those are things that would play well as a tag or having a little user picture for the created on. And so those are all naturally translating for you when you let Appian help you. It's able to continue to add in additional features that streamline the build.
When there are related records in a grid also, so for example, if we have a case record list, right, and their status, before it would be status 1, 2, 3, and then you would have to go into the configuration to change it to ready or started. But now with the new record list, we don't have to do that anymore,
Right.
because it's going to take care of that automatically for us.
I even found, so one cool thing as I was like tinkering with some of the new updates, with the CRUD updates, is that when I was, building a base record type and an associated status record type, I had SQL files for them. If you go once you actually add that database table to your record type, it may not originally have some of those like nice UI updates, but if you hit reset list, it automatically does it for you. So beautiful. Looks like we're approaching 5 minutes now.
Right,
so.
5-minute warning.
Whoo, it's going fast.
It is.
They're plugged, they're locked in. That's the verbiage, right, nowadays. Locked in.
They're locked in.
I don't know, as a mom, I feel kind of old sometimes, but it's fine.
I love the side-by-side view. We can see, you know, which portions they're working on.
Top of the screen, there are some changes to the interface designer. So before, you would need to click onto the icon of a device right on the top right corner. But now it's right in the middle, and when you click on it, you'll be able to choose which device you want to preview this in. And between editing and previewing and performance, that's all in one place now. So you can just click the drop-down button to choose which view you want to see.
Yeah, it looks like we have some switch up of maybe different interfaces here. Nice. So we have our record list showing up. Cool, cool, cool. And on the other side, we have some playing around with the actual inventory record type itself. Oh, we're generating again. Nice.
Generating.
I saw the site designer as well.
Yes. Back to what you were saying though about the updates up there. I love working for Appian. I'll just be that person, right? And one of the things I love about my role is that I can do a lot of like usability testing too. So our engineers will be like, we came up with this great thing. Hey, do you want to test it? And I'm like, yes, I do. Because I hear a lot of, what you guys say out there. And I mean, I have my own opinions, but yeah. No, I definitely was part of that one for the interface designer. And it was cool.
I mean, Amy and I are the same way. We didn't become commentators because we don't love to give our opinion, right? We're always participating in UX testing. We like to give feedback. And it's nice to have your hands in the clay, so to speak, shaping the future of the product. I personally was a strong advocate for the rainbow bar. I thought that looked really good, so happy to push that along. All right, what else are we looking at over here? It looks like Naman's creating an interface, typing out that name, saving that. All right.
Your eyesight is really good.
I know. I'm like, I'm able to read such small things.
I'm gonna go walk over and see. You guys can look at that. I'm gonna get a better look here.
There's drag and drop actions going on, and there's one expression screen. So you have the flexibility to build however fast you want.
Let's take a poll of the audience. I know we have some options here. We've got expression mode, we've got design mode. Oh, our 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning, yeah, cowbell.
Perfect time for a poll.
We need some cowbells up here.
Yeah, I need more cowbell, right?
So folks in the audience, developers, since we're at DevCon today, who prefers to build in expression mode versus design mode? Let's hear it for expression mode.
Okay.
Let's hear it for design mode. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll see. In the next couple of releases, maybe your opinion will change, right? Our goal is to make your lives easier as developers, and I know at the keynote this morning, Greg was hinting at some things that are coming out in the next couple releases that are pretty cool, in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll re-poll you next year, okay?
I would say with some of the new features like Case Management Studio, there's going to be more and more delegation of that drag and drop to the more business-focused or power user. And so you developers are going to get to do more in expression mode because that's where you're going to be adding in more complexity, using the function library, adding integrations, expression rules, etc.
Yeah.
So good news for all of you who prefer the expression mode. We're not getting rid of that anytime soon.
I'm getting some strange errors. I'm getting some strange errors.
All right, so we've got about 38 seconds, and then there's going to be a countdown and a hands off. Now we've got some last minute.
Same problems. So the playing ground is still same problems. So the playing ground is still level technically, but what are your feelings?
I ran into some unexpected errors that with the auto pre-filling, like with the functionality to generate objects, and it was giving me some strange errors, and I don't know if you.
Let's hear from you, Naman.
Yeah, I also did see some unexpected issues. I did try to do whatever I could with the ones that are not giving me pink screens.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely threw me off that we had to like create everything from scratch.
You were expecting that in the final, not on the preliminary.
In the 25-minute challenge, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope it goes well.
Well, so feature-wise, like you guys have been they've been playing with the features for about 2 weeks, okay? Getting a sneak peek. Well, what do you like building with? Like, of that challenge that you just did, in theory, right? What was your favorite part about?
Oh, I love the fact that we can just create documents now and with a document type, and you can just generate everything. So you don't have to like go on building tables and then record types and then creating a relationship to the document. And then it's just like a lot. I think this is just like within a few clicks, you can reach like really far with documents.
Okay. Eric?
Yes, the feature of being able to access documents, the document metadata without having to, like it's its own record type. I really like that, and the AI features we didn't do it here, but the new AI features coming up are also really cool.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Our judges are still deliberating a little bit, so we're just waiting on their. Versus Walt. So, come on stage. Take your seats. All right. Nervous? All right. We got this. It's going to be great. Let's go ahead and kick off the countdown for this second round. In a second.
Both
There we go.
contestants have their
Forward.
hands up.
3, 2, 1.
Build.
All right. Build.
All right.
All right. Let's talk about this challenge. So this challenge is a guest management application where the spotlight is on the AI Document Center. So the documents that we are providing for them in this case include government IDs, so that could be driver's licenses, it could be like a children's ID, it could be a passport, and then, if they have enough time, if they speed through and they get to more of the stretch goals, there are also consent forms that they can upload and then have to check with existing record. So what they're given in this challenge is a little more. They're given a guest record type, a guest status record type, and as well as the document stuff too that our contestants in the last challenge had to build from scratch. So all of that is given to them in this one, and they're also given a basic view and some CRUD actions. And so again, what you're on the lookout for is the utilization of the AI Document Center in process. So out of curiosity out there, anyone go to the workshop today on the AI Document Center?
See some hands over in the back
Yay,
left.
nay, yeah, pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, they've been playing with it for a couple weeks now, and we get to see it live in progress. Other than that, so what they're doing actually, right, is uploading these documents. The AI is extracting the birth date and name of the individual, and then comparing it with the record. And so if they match, we should see some type of visual indicator saying, yes, woohoo, the person checked in well. Or if they don't match up, we should see some type of UI element that says, no, there's an error here. We need some type of manual override. Cool. So let's talk about these two contestants. I will start with Walt. So Walt is a manager of technology and data at 10 Pearls. Any 10 Pearls, people? It's that table right there. Okay. He is LEED certified with 9 years of experience. And the reason why I paired these two together is, again, very similar applications where they had lots of confidence in this case. And so I'm excited. In his application, he said he was a good developer, but maybe not speedy. So, this competition about speed, but we'll see. Joe, in contrast, he is a principal technical consultant at Groundswell. Any Groundswell people out there?
Nice.
Not many, but you're loud. Great. Joe is LEED certified with 6 years experience, and he has similar confidence, but he did say that he was fast. So we will see. This is the true testament of it. And he even said he was excited to see how it does, in fact, match up. Great. Okay. Should we go see what they're building?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's head over to Walt first.
All right, Walt is starting with creating his site. He's giving that site a name and a display name that'll be public to the users, setting some security rules. He accepted the defaults. Amy, is there anything new that you're seeing here on this new site object coming in 25.2?
Yeah, in a new site object, there are all of the interfaces that are in this site. So you don't have to go into each of the interfaces to update those anymore.
That's great. Going to create that consistent experience across anything that a user's accessing through that site. I love that.
Exactly.
Nice, doing a little testing on the front end here, seeing
love to see the testing.
what's coming. Yeah.
Particularly after the errors faced by our contestants from round 1. It's great that the round 2 contestants have picked up that they should be testing as they go.
I think they did in the first round too.
Oh, yes, of course.
They couldn't help it in the first round, okay? I'll take the blame. It's my fault, okay? Okay, great. Cool. Well, he's well on his way. Let's go check on Joe.
Joe said that he's very fast, and he's in the process model.
He certainly is whipping around the process modeler right now. My goodness.
Okay, so he is in one of the CRUD actions that was given to him. So this is the create or update guest action. And it looks like he's adding some variables. And he already has a sub-process in there. So I think he's actually already gone through the AI Document Center and made the model.
Oh my goodness.
We're at 10 minutes now. So
it took him 5 minutes and he just...
Not even that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, it's not just Joe, okay? The process, like the AIDC is actually super easy to configure and fast. I can't say that he has 100% accuracy on his model, but I'm sure the judges saw it, so. Awesome, great. So just working on that process and getting the data in and out of that process. Cool.
I do think our AI Document Center is going to be on display here in this challenge because it's not just if the developers can configure it well, but it's also can the AI Document Center effectively process the documents?
Yeah, the accuracy.
The accuracy is going to be on display today.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But from what we've heard also, AI Document Center can reach 95% accuracy on document extraction, which is really good. And the performance is, 6 times better than what we had this time last year for IDP.
With the AI skills.
I believe it.
I also heard that AI Document Center is getting rid of some of the file size restrictions that were on that AI skill. So because AI Document Center is dynamically breaking up those longer documents and processing them and then smashing them back together at the end, of course, smashing being the technical term, you're able to work with some bigger documents, which I know for a lot of my public sector clients, that's a really important requirement, as well as within insurance, financial services, et cetera.
Definitely.
And everything is audited in our AI tools as well, right? So you can go back and see what AI did, at what time. You can use the audit to review regulatory compliance.
Across the field of AI, that's a big concern right now, is visibility into the decisions that AI is making. So being able to break it up into giving it small, bite-sized tasks like extracting fields, using additional prompt guidance for those fields, and then having all of that be traceable in your application is really critical to knowing what's going on under the hood of your Appian application.
100%, yeah. Cool. So it looks like they're both in the process modeler, which makes sense, right? So if you're not familiar with how the AI Document Center works, if you didn't go to the house session, again, I highly recommend you go in the next couple days because it is really cool and really quick to do. But when you make your new extraction or classification model, it will automatically make a bunch of different AI skills for you and process models. And so all that our contestants are doing in this challenge is utilizing that sub-process that was generated from their extraction model, and then utilizing in this process so that they can make that verification check and then do the little UI bit. So very cool stuff.
Nice.
I know there was a hands-on workshop today to play around with AI Document Center. Did anyone go to that in the audience?
That's what we asked earlier. There were a couple hands.
Yeah,
Who's going to go tomorrow?
exactly.
Yeah, that's right. I love it.
Yeah, so we previously had the ability to create those AI skills, but the AI Document Center is generating those objects for you.
It's just making things so incredibly faster, right? Because, I mean, I won't boast of speed, but like, I'm pretty decent at both prompt engineering and configuring AI skills, so I kind of know what I'm doing, but I will say the AI Document Center just made it so much easier and faster to stand up basic or complex needs for requirements. So,
I mean, in solutions consulting, we're all about moving fast and being able to spin up a model and have that model use AI to figure out what fields I want in my model. It's like a little bit meta for me, but it happens so fast, and then the model I find works on the first try, extracting at a very high accuracy rate those fields from the document I gave it. So it's great for showing demonstrations, and even better in production to have those changes be implemented really quickly.
definitely. All right, I'm just checking in here and seeing what people are doing. Okay, we're creating a site. Nice. We like sites because they let us see things, right?
Yeah, there's kind of an inverse path being taken, right?
Yeah,
We had,
different strategies.
Right, Walt was doing the site earlier, and then we checked in on Joe. He was working in the process modeler. Now we're seeing an inversion of the two.
Yep.
So are you ready to use this app to check in to a ski lodge?
That's right, yeah. I mean, in theory, it's supposed to make our managers' lives easier, right? They just boop, upload the little document, and then it does the check for them, and the only time they really need to intervene is if there's, a problem.
Yeah. And I see we're down to less than 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Woo!
Now, trust me, they still have plenty of requirements to go through. Again, optionally, right? But it does help, get you closer to $15,000.
Brownie points.
Okay, we're generating a new view now, too. Very cool, with the new documents as well.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yes.
If you were a contestant and won, what would you do with $15,000?
That's, so if everyone out there couldn't tell, I am very much so pregnant at this point. And I already have a 2.5-year-old at home. And so I would probably use that money to upgrade our living space. Right now we live in a cozy townhouse, but my toddler definitely is bigger than that townhouse. So I would try to buy, I think, a single family house in Northern Virginia, which we know is kind of expensive. So
With $15,000, I think you're going to need a little bit more than
no,
that.
my friend, I have some other stuff going on for me, but that would help. All right. Well, what about you? What would you do?
What would I do with $15,000? Well, maybe I would have to go take some ski lessons since I'm not really much of a skier. That could be, how many lessons would that buy me? 1, 2? I know it's expensive, but
Depends
I'm
on the
not
instructor, right?
sure. Okay.
Although I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I haven't been skiing or snowboarding since I was a teenager, so it's been a while. What about you, Amy?
Maybe I'll take some ski lessons as well. Having lived in Utah for so many years, I actually have never skied.
Shocking.
Really?
Shocking, I know. Yeah, I've snowboarded once, but that's about it. So probably I would take some lessons and take my parents to some cool places in the world.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I went straight to, I want a house. And
Hey, you're taking care of your family.
Okay. I appreciate you being nice to me. Oh, okay, there's some interesting stuff going on. Who should we go to first?
All right, let's go to,
Let's see.
Ooh, what is that?
I want to check out Joe here.
I see a giant icon
what he's
on the
building.
screen.
Looks like he's making that visual indicator for, you know, what happens when something goes wrong.
Nice.
Nice.
The interface is for guest details.
Now, this was something I made flexible for our contestants. I didn't know what kind of visual indicator they would opt for. When I practiced building these, I actually made like a banner that would show up. But I definitely kept in mind that, you know, there may be stamps or something else. I don't know. What would you do?
I like the idea of a banner and give it some colors as well.
2
With your
minutes.
cowbells.
Cowbell.
That's like when you're at a marathon and you're getting close to the edge and people are like, cowbell, so that, you know, they make it to the end. That's the intention, at least. But you were saying you like the idea of a banner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like the idea of a banner. Give it some good colors to show up.
Yeah.
Hey, there's an issue here.
Fix it. What about you, Becca?
I would also go the route of the banner. I know there's some of those pre-built components that are in the design library that you can grab.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those.
Design library or like the patterns, right?
The patterns of the interface designer, yep.
Wow.
I do love a good pattern.
I love it when it comes from our experts and the UX team at Appian itself. So I just like to, you know, imitation is the best form of flattery, so I just take what they do and it makes my apps look good.
That's fair, that's fair.
Quite easy.
I'm gonna walk
Works
over to
smart.
Walt and see what he's doing. Looks like he's back in the guest record type. Okay, and doing some security stuff. We love security. It is, I would almost argue, one of the most important parts of our app building, right?
Oh, he has the banner, if you see behind the notes document there.
I hope
He's
you
got
guys
that-
didn't influence him on that.
I know, he might be listening. I don't see any earplugs in this contestant, so he might be.
How are they doing that?
We're not
None
judges,
of the
so-
contestants had earplugs on.
They're locked in, I'm telling
They
you.
must be. It's a
Look,
very
we're
impressive.
almost at 30 seconds here, so they're really just putting on their finishing touches. Look at that. Look at the little rating. That's
Wow.
cool.
Drag and drop that right out of the patterns.
All right.
Impressive.
Competition is fierce. Who's
Okay.
going to win?
We have 20 seconds left.
I see some clicking through of the different tabs. Points are going to be awarded, I'm sure, for the UX of the application.
I think so. Yeah.
7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on over.
Good job.
They made it.
Let's grab a mic for our contestants here. That was a good sigh of relief, maybe?
Mostly relief.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll start with gut feelings. No terrible errors, luckily, for this crew. So, yeah.
Yeah, no terrible errors. I noticed some funkiness with the AI Document Center, but hey, you rock with the curveballs.
Yeah, same here. I think I did great on the MVP, but some of the requirements were pretty strict given the time limit, so yeah.
I did give you a lot of requirements. So, yeah, given that, like, did you do as much as you thought you might do?
Yeah, I think I hit the mark with what I think I was going to land, so I'm happy with myself.
Okay.
Maybe a little slower than I would have liked to. I'm gonna blame that one on the sprained thumb.
Sprained thumb, that's
Sprained
right, that's
thumb.
right. That's okay. So we were talking, I don't know if you guys heard us, you were so locked in about your choice. You chose a stamp for the indicator. Any reasons why?
Well, it seemed like a type of action that a user wanted to prioritize, and you really want to call a lot of attention to. You don't want them to kind of glance past that and not realize there's an issue.
That's fair. I liked the little exclamation point. I thought that is a very clear indicator, in my opinion. Okay. What about your design choice?
For me, I think the biggest thing in regards to my UI was the fact that I used a banner to indicate when a guest was flagged. I thought that's a very nice visual. Not only is it useful information, but it also pops out with a nice yellow color.
Okay, cool. And you guys, obviously, your challenge was based off of the AI Document Center. So given what you've been able to play with for the past 2 weeks and what you just did in 15 minutes, what did you like? Any advice?
Yeah, so the AI Document Center is actually really cool. I would say previously when you're running AI, it's hard to keep track of all the responses every single instance, as well as the versions you've changed the prompt to. Now it's all located in one central location, so I think it's great for you to run any backlog testing.
Yeah, and I will say the shift towards your more generic Gen AI extraction models, I mean, it's more expensive and it's at times slower, but it is pretty impressive. There was a time even when we were experimenting with this before that I was testing, and You kind of give it the instructions to choose from this list, right? Only choose options from that list. I threw it a false negative, something that shouldn't have fit, and it came up with it on its own. I mean, that's kind of the usefulness of going out of the box of just your generic ML models, and it's got a lot of potential, I think.
Okay, cool. And I didn't quite see the documents you utilized with your testing. Did you guys get a chance to utilize some of those documents?
No, I think I was so focused on the MVP as well as the stretch goals that I didn't get a chance to test.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, similar story here. I think the one thing to note with testing, I mean, I doubt many people are going to be in scenarios where they have to get it done in 15 minutes.
I hope not.
The Gen AI is fast. It still takes a couple minutes to extract the data you want.
It definitely does.
So it's something that works pretty well, but I got to be a little mindful of the timeliness.
That's okay. I think our judges were able to see everything you guys were able to do. So let's see. Are you ready? All right. Are you guys ready? All right.
Oh.
The winner of the second round is Joe.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that matters is
Fierce competition so far. The first round, fierce because they had unexpected things they had to deal with, and second round, fierce because lots of requirements. I'm going to take the next couple minutes to give Joe a little bit of a break for not just our contestants here to play with, but for all of you out there to play with. So they're all AI-based, right? One is with our composer. Another one is with the more chatbot-like things. And the last one does deal a little bit more with our AI skills. But you do have a little more incentive than just the gloating of winning the fastest time. You also have the opportunity to win some branded merch, okay? Word on the street is that there's maybe some headphones or a massage gun. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure we have some Appian branded stuff like that. So make sure to check out the AI Arcade. Next up, I think many of you out there are pretty familiar with this, but if you're not, it's worth a shout. Okay, please subscribe to our Appian Community YouTube channel. If you already watched some of the live streams, you probably recognize me then, because that's where I show up a lot of the time. But if you're not familiar, we have new content every week. We have a variety of our different experts that show up on this, which include, inside of Appian as well as you all. And so I do want to put a shout out there. If you all are interested in being on a live stream, joining me and talking about maybe some exciting new features, I'm in the attendee hub. You can message me. You can physically come up to me and say hi. I would love that anyway. But that is an opportunity that we have. Great. And I would say that the YouTube channel is good for new and seasoned devs. For newer folks, there are ways to learn the Appian platform. And for seasoned devs, maybe there's some more specific things like the updates on the product. So lots of stuff to see, and I highly recommend you subscribe. You guys saw this earlier, but again, worth a shout. Get certified, right? You have opportunities to sign up for slots here at Appian World to either get certified or to maybe level up your game in certification. I know one of my colleagues last year decided to take the lead certified exam just on a whim, and he got it. So it's worth a shot. If you don't feel like you're ready, though, it's okay. Go to the Learn Appian booth and get a free voucher and take it maybe a little later when you're a little more ready. The other exciting thing that Kara introduced this morning were skill badges. So again, if you are a newer dev, you're likely going to the YouTube channel or Appian Academy and learning how the product works, or maybe you have a program inside of your company that you're learning. But in general, you're learning the basics and then aiming to get certified. But once you're certified and you have some solid knowledge, one great way to distinguish yourself is through a skill badge. So definitely check this out today because Kara said it launches today. So I can't wait to see how many of you get skill badges soon. All right, my last announcement is something that was said earlier as well, but the UX Design Lab series is honestly one of my favorite series now, which, okay, I know I don't MC it, but it is really cool because you all submit your UIs, and then our Appian experts get to showcase them so we can see the amazing efforts of our community, and we also get to learn from it. So definitely submit your UIs. This one is next week, and the deadline to submit is Wednesday. Okay, if you've lost track of time like me, it's Monday today, so you have 2 more days to submit a UI. All right, great. That is all I have for announcements. Let me get my commentators back on stage. Welcome back. Yeah. Please clap for them. Yes. Yeah, there was no music that time. Yeah. All right, so let's just talk about what we've seen so far. Well, our contestants are, warming up in the wings here. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think they were very brave to take on this challenge because I don't know if I could do it, would be able to do it in 15 minutes, looking at the list of requirements, But, and also they're building on 25.2, so it's a lot of the features that we have not played around as much.
Right.
So
I
think that.
But
yeah, you have.
I don't think
I hope you have.
I don't know that I would have won though. Becky, what about you? Before we move on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, things come up all the time. We saw unexpected challenges in both groups. And that's what happens when you're on kind of an early release, is we're still collecting that feedback and working through some of those bugs before we push it out to the public. So
that's right.
They took that risk, but I love it. We learned from it. So.
All right, this time we're expecting to build from scratch, so level playing field here. All right, again, this is a 25-minute challenge, and they're essentially doing everything that both challenges before did. So they're going to set up that record type and use the AI Document Center. All right, are you guys ready? Ready as you'll ever be? Yep. Let's kick it off then.
3, 2, 1. Build.
I like it's like a foghorn with a cowbell. Still think it needs more cowbell though.
Each of us gets one.
That'd be great. At the end. All right, great. So yeah, we've reached the final. We're that much closer to announcing who's going to win $15,000. But before we even get to there, we should talk about this challenge and maybe give you a little more details on, Eric and Joe here. So for the final challenge, we are doing an incident management application. And so I hope you enjoy the titling as much as I had making it, Lodge and Order. Okay, I like to say that I like to make mom jokes. It's similar to dad jokes, except I feel like I have less toleration for some things, right? But I still like a good pun. So I know Amy does too. She was laughing over some ChatGPT ones earlier. So, okay. This challenge is, again, all-consuming from everything that we've learned so far. We should see the document record type, we should see the AI Document Center, and we should see chatbots for sure. The document types that they are given include a written feedback form, video transcripts, chat logs, and email printouts. All right. They really weren't given anything. I gave them a blank shell of an application. And so they truly have to just connect to a pre-existing database table and build everything from there. And so, as Joe said earlier, it takes a bit of time for the AI Document Center to still do its thing. So I'm excited to see how many requirements that these contestants get through. All right, let's now talk a little bit about Eric. I told you earlier that he's LEED certified and he has so many years of experience, but I loved interviewing him and getting to know him a little better, and so some things about him. He's a family man. He has a wife and 3 children, and he enjoys things like hiking, running. He has a diverse background. He started working with Appian in 2015, and then, transitioned along the way. He finds it rewarding to work on complex Appian implementations. I think we all do, to an extent, right? Okay, I can't speak for everyone, but I definitely love a good problem that I know I can fix. it's a little more dismaying if I'm not sure if I can fix it. But yeah, okay. When I asked him what he hoped to gain out of this competition, again, love this answer. He just was about the experience, right? And I hope I didn't give him too many negative experiences in the first prelim, but in this one, I think his game plan is a lot more fine-tuned here to what I gave him. And then my favorite question that I asked him, though, is, if you could invite anyone to dinner, who would you talk to and why? And he chose Abraham Lincoln to talk about his journey about leadership. So that's a little bit about Erick. I'm going to move over to Joe now. All right. He is from Maryland, and I asked about their hobbies and what they're into. And so these are two very different things, basketball and Dungeons and Dragons. All right? They're the same. All right. I love that. I personally haven't played Dungeons and Dragons, but I love the concept. There you go. Okay. He has also had a long history with Appian. Again, we have both LEED certified, and I think both had 9 years. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, he, again, from the area, Maryland. He went out west, and then Appian just kind of brought him back. So love to hear that. He wanted to test his speed. That was his reason, right? So wanted experience, and Joe wanted to test his abilities. I can vibe with that. That's great. And then his person he wanted to talk to, he actually chose two because he couldn't decide quite. It was Lovelace or Turing, to talk about the information age and the evolution of modern computing.
Interesting.
That's an interesting choice, right? Who would you talk to?
Who would I talk to? You're putting me on the spot here, Kate.
You think about it. Did you?
I also don't know.
I think I would talk to my younger self.
Your younger self?
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I didn't receive these questions a few business days ahead of time, so I'm not really able to come up with an answer. But it's a nice thought that you could, choose anyone in the world or throughout history to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
Just where you can make one.
Yeah. If you were given this question a couple of business days ago, that would be last week, because granted, today is Monday.
It's Monday. We're very shocked.
Yes. Yesterday, when I was asked, or when I was thinking about what sessions are happening on which day, it would take me a couple of seconds to think, okay, third days, that would be Tuesday.
What? Let's go check out what they're building. Come on,
let's go.
Oh, I love that. All right, so we are in a record type, and we're looking at the guest stuff. Okay.
Oh, I love this. When you start from scratch, you get to use some of the data model generation features in the record builder here. So he just was able to identify which fields he wanted, and Appian's going to manage all the SQL scripts and creating that database table for him behind the scenes. Now he's generating CRUD actions. I mean, he's just blowing through the requirements right before our eyes. It's
very
really
speedy,
great to see.
At least like 3 of the things on the rubric I know. Okay, cool. Yeah, he's on his incident record type, and he's just getting some of the basics up and running. I also get rid of the show-related actions view right away.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, I don't like the related actions view.
I don't want to see that.
So he's just going from generation to generation to generation. First with the data model, then with the actions, and now with the views.
Yeah.
He's able to select which relationships he wants, and it's just going to generate that interface for him. Now he's moving on to security rules. I mean, he cannot be stopped. He's just really plowing through the record type. It's great to see.
Plowing through the record type.
Yeah, and he's right now making sure that only managers can see certain fields, which is field level security is pretty new.
That's new as well.
Yeah, not 25.2, but 25.1, I believe, right?
So we think about record level security as governing by the row in the database. Field level is the column in the database. So we're going by those two different angles to make sure that folks are only seeing what they're supposed to see.
Yep.
And now this is the modern record summary view that's generated. We've got those different lists. He's just dropping in an event history list field here and indicating the record events. This was actually the last record type that was offered by Appian as something you could relate to the base record type, was record events, and now we're adding those documents too. So
and you can collaborate using that event record type.
Yeah, honestly, the record events has grown so much in the past couple releases, and I definitely loved seeing the threaded replies, the subscribers, and everything. We just saw him generate a view that had all that stuff in it. So I definitely like it because I just like to see it, you know. And then if I don't like how it looks, well, I'll code it myself. I'll go into expression mode, right?
Well, for some of our folks in the room who've been with Appian a while and have been developing an Appian for more than 5-10 years, we've had some of these features before, right? Like newsfeed, there was some commenting and chatting, or we have documents which have versioning, and there's properties. But what I love about them moving to a record base is that it plays into that data fabric, so you can change the source easily, and it's not going to require you to refactor the entire application.
Definitely.
You're also getting to leverage things like the automatic reorganization of the database level, so that you're having more performant queries and things. Some of those are benefits of using the modern data fabric technology we have.
And I will say, as you were talking, he just blew through like 2 more requirements.
I mean,
right? Let's go check on Joe. Yeah,
Joe.
He's going fast. Something, speed up from the normal webinar deck.
Oh, Joe is working in the AI Document Center. He's refining his prompts. We actually barely caught him working on this because it's just going so quickly. He's copying the name of that AI skill that was generated. So what we just saw, briefly, I'll just try to describe since he's moved on already. Within the AI Document Center, you get to define certain prompts that can help extract within sections or fields. You can even indicate the kind of extraction you want. So it doesn't have to all be generative AI. You could use regular expressions. You could use standard business rules to extract certain fields, even OCR, right? So that kind of older technology of optical character recognition.
And I will point out one thing here. It's that, so in the first AIDC-based challenge, they did strict extraction, right? So they uploaded government IDs and they took out the birth date and the name. And so in this challenge, it is a little different because they're uploading documents, and then what they're actually extracting isn't necessarily an extraction per se. They're having the AI summarize it to make a description field for the new record, and they are also classifying it. So they're triaging the documents to the right department.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit off stage, but there's multiple ways to approach this requirement. So I'm curious to see the path that each of our contestants here takes, because one of the benefits of Appian AI Document Center now is that there can be validation rules based on certain fields. So wonder if I'm giving away some hints to our competitors live in action here.
They're so locked in, they don't hear you.
Right, they're not hearing a thing I'm saying. But there's different ways to do it, and depending on the business need, there's those different tools to have different outcomes.
Yeah, definitely. But I definitely love the flexibility of the AI Document Center, and I feel like for all of our developers who are familiar with prompt engineering and like using the AI skills for the past year or so, right? There is flexibility, and I think the AI Document Center really brings a lot more flexibility and cost savings and everything that we talked about earlier. But love that. All right, what else is going on here? Adding pages to a site. Nice, nice.
It all comes down to that user experience at the end of the day, right? We're generating a lot of these pieces, and obviously this is a developer DevCon reception here, and we're in a room full of developers, but most importantly is it going to meet the business need? Is it going to be easier for the users? So some of these AI, extraction and classification things, these are to make it so that someone doesn't have to manually go in and parse through those documents themselves, looking for values, pulling those out, copy, paste, swivel chairing over to other systems. Just try to streamline all of that so that folks can focus more on knowledge work and on those exceptional cases that are flagged when the AI is not able to find that answer.
Definitely, and you guys have a good bit of perspective because as solutions consultants, you go and talk to customers all the time about like what they need, what the requirements are. Obviously for this challenge, I tried to make it a little more toned down, like just extracting birth date and name. Hopefully wouldn't take the AI too long, but you never know. But yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, and even for an incident app, to manage incidents like this one or claims management, we all know that there's going to be a lot of documents involved as well, right?
Yes.
For example, when we submit a claim, we need to submit doctor's notes and all of the receipts, the bills on our medicines that we have to take, et cetera, et cetera. So instead of a human having to read so many pages of doctor's appointments, doctor's notes, and all that, we can have AI do it for them, and if needed, we can have a human to check the AI's work. Even now we have 95% accuracy, but we also want to get to 100.
Yeah, it's not 100%, come on. we strive for the top here, right? But 90% is pretty good, yeah. Cool, it looks like both of them are, well, they went to the basic designer for a second, but, oh, you can actually see the AI, this is an AI skill right now, which is cool. Okay, maybe so fine-tuning it a little bit.
Prompt builder. Should we go over and take a closer look?
Sure, yeah, let's see what he's doing.
So there's a default prompt here that he's now refining. This looks like it was potentially a skill that was generated using AIDC, but he's now refining the prompt to further tailor the way this AI skill is going to react to the input. Notice on the bottom here, we also have temperature, so he can tailor it to be either more or less random based on the information that's put in. So if you put the same document in twice, is it going to give him a more similar or more different answer? That's also something that folks tend to like to have as their own preference and have control over based on how mission critical or central to the business the application is going to be.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I think what he's doing here is he's making that triage policy a part of the prompt, which honestly, when I was creating it for speed, that's what I did too. So
yeah,
very nice.
This is great. Instead of having to create an entirely different AI skill to classify, he's able to incorporate that categorization into the summary piece. So it looks like that's going to become part of the output, which will then flow naturally into the process model that will already be part of the AI skill that he can use in maybe a gateway later on in the process.
Yeah.
Smart design.
Love it. I will say too, you asked me earlier about my speed and ability. He's just like reading names of things faster than I do. Like right now it's what? We're getting close to 7 p.m. probably at this point.
7:15.
It's 7:15. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's like mom brain. Maybe it's just me, but like I can't read that fast at this point. So phenomenal job here so far. Let's go check what Joe's doing again.
All right. We're just under 10 minutes remaining, so Joe should be making his way as well.
Oh, 10 minutes remaining. That's crazy. All right.
He is working on the incident summary page.
Amy, you were mentioning this earlier. Some of the newer features in the record summary view include event history, actions, as well as those related grids. So we're seeing those here. He, as many of you in the room, seems to be demonstrating a preference for that expression mode. He's able to quickly type in expressions with that familiar Appian syntax.
He did say he was fast.
He did say, he is, I don't see any thumb sprain as far as I'm looking, so it's pretty impressive.
He's listening.
We got to chuckle.
That's good. No, but it's looking good so far. Yeah, they're developing really speedily, and I'm trying to remember the requirements off the top of my head, but I feel like they're shaking and baking. They're more than halfway through, and that's good because we're all more than halfway through in the time, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you caught this, but Joe is just putting in a little null check into one of those section views,
okay.
Which I think is interesting given that this is really a challenge about speed, but some of that developer instinct of building things how you would want them in production seems to you can't shake that out even when you're building for speed.
I think he did that in the last challenge too, because he was doing stuff for his process model, and he took the time to rename like the actual node too.
Interesting.
Which, you take what you want. Like some people wouldn't waste the 2 seconds to rename something, but
right.
Maybe I just like renaming things so that they are accurate. But it warmed my heart to see that.
But hey, if you do something often enough, you'll get really fast at it.
That's true. Maybe I just haven't done it long enough. Probably true. All right, cool. We have, still working on the summary view and working on, now we're down at the bottom here of our skill, if you can see that.
It looks like Eric on the right is providing some example inputs and outputs. So that's one way to ensure that the result of your AI skill is going to be closer to what you actually want as you provide those examples. So hopefully that comes back to benefit him and his score if his AI model works a little bit better since he took the time to add that detail in.
Mm-hmm. And in real world, you can also test your model, test the AI skill before deploying it into a process model as well. And you can do that over and over again, do the prompt engineering process until you get the output that's closest to your preference. But of course, we're talking about speed here. So after 2 weeks of playing in the environment,
and only a couple like days of actually seeing the prompts and you know, strategizing. Pretty good. All right, we're making some UI choices here. Okay, love that. Because we do care as much about functionality as how good it looks, right? If your app doesn't look good, we know that some people don't exactly adopt it, right?
I mean, realistically, when you use an app or when you go on a website that doesn't look too good, you don't feel like being on that website or app for too long. But when you get a very intuitive experience on an interface, probably you would choose that app versus another app that doesn't look as good or as intuitive.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because earlier in our keynote today, Greg was talking about how, you know, a lot of things about our interfaces are speeding up. I love that phrase because it's, you know, the one slide on our webinar deck with the little clock. Anyway, yeah, no, our interfaces are speeding up, and another feature that they're not necessarily configuring for this challenge that I do love is the asynchronous loading of different dashboard features.
Yeah.
Right?
For grids and charts and dashboards.
Because that's relatively new too. So, all right, it looks like we're building a dashboard now. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that anyone would get to this point of making a dashboard, but it looks like we are, which is awesome to see.
And we see some low-code action, not as much expression.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, right? To build this dashboard.
Well, I would say with a lot of the charts recently, like it's become a lot faster to develop in low code.
Definitely.
And we have the KPIs. Those are new components as of 25.1, I believe. So you don't have to design it as much because they already look good.
Yeah, we had some pretty decent patterns before for the KPIs, and you know, I think there's like 4 different ones where the different layouts and different configurations of KPIs, but I'm honestly on the fence of what I like to do, using the pattern or making it from scratch with a KPI component, because updating it versus making from scratch is comparable, for me at least. So.
And we're down to less than 5 minutes left.
Wow, time is flying, and I think they're doing fantastically.
They're very smooth, like fresh snow.
Fresh powder?
Fresh powder.
We really should have inserted more puns on the skiing and slopes, but we didn't quite get there.
You can tell that I'm not a skier.
Do you have any? Can you think of any good puns for skiing right now?
Any good no.
I think we're all too far removed from skiing that unfortunately.
All of my puns were vetoed by Amy before we got on stage because they were too terrible. So unfortunately, I'll save you all from that.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't like skied or anything since I was a teenager, and the last thing I actually tried was snowboarding, like Amy. And I was telling Amy or Becca this story earlier, but and I worded it very funny. I said my dad broke his back when I tried snowboarding for the first time, leaving out the fact that my dad also tried snowboarding at the same time. Yeah, he went backwards down the hill the wrong way and landed on his tailbone, and he didn't break his back, but it was not pretty. So
not good.
But kudos to my dad for trying out something new with me.
It's impressive. I'm loving the UX that Joe is going with here. He's got those cards set across the background. I know there's sometimes a division within the community of, do you go with cards with shadows versus border versus both, and what is the function of each? So I know we've got some of the brain trust in the back of the room. We've got our chief UX designers in the room here. I won't point him out,
no
but
pressure.
If anyone knows,
yeah.
We've got some intense, observations taking place.
Hey, but it's good to see. These people are working with speed, and so they, we get good feedback of seeing, where they go, what they do, so that we can improve it as well. Very cool. You mentioned card layout earlier. I know we had some great features that were incorporated in the past couple releases. One of my favorites was the group card layout because, again, I'm one of those like almost pixel perfect kind of people where I want things to be the same size, and then if I expand it, I want it to change. And I was so happy when that came out.
Me too, because when you change the size of the screen, you want to have somewhat a similar experience between on a desktop versus on a phone screen. So that helps a lot.
And you definitely need to know your user. If, are they going to be using it on mobile, or are they going to be using it, on a desktop? So.
And we want the cards to be somewhat at the same size.
Right.
I want them to be the exact same size.
I mean, this is something that people were spending a lot of energy, developing manually and writing, iterations.
Can you believe we're at 2 minutes already?
2 minutes left. 25 minutes flies by.
In reality, this is like, what are they going to decide to sneak in here? What are they going to make pretty, right? And so, Joe's been on an interface for a bit, making things nice and pretty, and we have Erick on the process modeler, getting his AI skills to do what they're supposed to do. Oh, they're both in the process modeler now. Okay, great.
I think it just speaks a lot that the last few years of the Live Build Challenge, the time has just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. I mean, initially it was an hour and they finished all the requirements in 45 minutes. Now it's a 25-minute challenge for the build from scratch portion.
Maybe that just means I'm mean. I don't know. I have to ask, what are you going to do with your 15th grand?
Go buy a free beer, I think.
Ooh, that is the perfect answer for right now. Awesome. Okay, let's all you'll buy it for him. There you go. Can we get one more round of applause for both our winner and our commentators?
Go take the money and run. Go take the money and run.
Wow, that was a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you all out there for being such an amazing audience, and thank you to my commentators for keeping the ball rolling, and the participants for being so flexible and amazing in their builds. I do want to call out the dev sessions, right? DevCon. That's why we're here. Make sure you are signed up for as many sessions as you can go to. I love the HOW workshops, the hands-on workshops. I think they're super fun, so make sure to check them out. You saw the AI Document Center and Process a little bit here. Definitely go to those sessions and check it out for yourself. And again, reminder, AI Arcade, there's prizes out there for you, potentially. So go take your hand at it. If you're the fastest in each category, you may win some stuff. Again, I welcome conversation if you're interested in being on a live stream with me at any point, or maybe not me in the next couple months, but if you're interested in that, please come talk to me or reach out to me on the Attendee Hub. And I think this one wants me to put up my feet at last. So I bid you all good night, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your reception.